Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, welcome. I'm Stefania. Today I'm gonna do a flip through of my reading journal, so I'm gonna show you the pages that I've created in January. As always, I'm gonna start from the yearly pages and then I'm gonna move to the monthly pages. The first page, as always, is the cover page, and if you want to check out the Done With Me video of my yearly pages, you can find it on my channel. I also have a flip through in which I explain basically how I use all of these spreads. So if you want, you can go and check it out as well. It's on my channel just like the other one. I've added the books that I've read in February, so there are 5 more books, and I love how it's coming out. I hope that by the end of the year there's not gonna be a lot of these 3 colors, because these are the colors that would make me think, that book wasn't amazing, so I really hope to have more of these colors. Book log, I've added the books that I've read in February, and it was a month full of physical books, and that's it, because I've read only physical books in February. I've started an ebook by the end of the month, but I haven't finished it in February, so it's not gonna be in this video. Reading tracker, I'm so happy because I've done it again. I read a little bit each single day and I'm really happy about it. So I'm on track with my goal, which is to read a little bit each single day. Just like for the first page, I really like the idea of having different colors compared to last year, because these are definitely better to look at compared to the one I was using in 2023. And I'm really happy that I've changed them, even if at the beginning I wasn't so sure about doing it. 2024 books read. These are the books that I've read in February. You're gonna see that I'm still missing the stickers here below, because I still have to print them. Like here, pick one. My favorite from February was Belladonna. I loved that book. It was like I don't know what to expect from it. I started reading it and then I was like, okay, this really is something that surprised me. I really liked it. Favorite books, nothing changed, because not a single book got 5 stars in February. Monthly reads, here I added the 5 books that I've read in February. Leggiamo con le streghe, the book of the month was Belladonna, while for Cerbero Book Club was Divine Rivals. Again, this is just like for Legends and Lattes. I've read it last year. I just didn't feel like reread it, and there's not a new spread in February, because simply I've already read it in December and I didn't want to reread it again. So you're not gonna see any spread for this book, because it was in my December flip through if you want to see it. Series tracker, well, first of all, I've added the one that I started in January that was missing, and then I've added the stolen here. Actually, there should be another one. See, I always lose something that I've started and I would say finished, because from what I know it's 2 books plus an extra small novel or something like that. But I just can't update this page in time. I don't know why. When I see it, I'm like, yes, updated, and then when I do the flip through, something comes in my mind. But bingo, some other things got colored and I'm really happy about it. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna end up finishing it, because I always manage to do it. I just hope so. Storygraph challenge. I've read 5 books, so there are 5 books that have been added here with the color of February, and I'm so happy about it. As always, both Storygraph and Goodreads haven't been really updated. My alphabet challenge for author. I was lucky to add a few, so I'm really happy about it. And since I can't ask for everything to be perfect, when it came to the titles of the book, there were only 2 that I could add. This doesn't surprise me anymore, but I like to do it. It's funny, so I'll keep on doing it no matter what. Then I have these two. Genre challenge, I've read a young adult. Buzzword challenge, I've done a few things. One was character names in the title, nature words, and relationships. And here they are. I really like the idea of putting the cover behind. It's gorgeous. I think that by now this one probably I'm more ahead compared to 2023. I don't even know if in 2023 by the end of the year I've done 3 things or not. So I'm quite happy about it. Genre tracker, I've read a romance for fantasy, 5 young adult, 0 adult. TBR, February started with 10 books in my TBR. I've added 1 book. I've read 5. So by the end of February, I had 6 books. Reading stats, 5 books, 0 book, 5 physical books, 1,876 pages, 29 days, 0 book in English, 5 in Italian, and then it was quite a lovely month, even if I have to say something about some books. And now I think we can move straight to the monthly pages. As always, you can find the Plan With Me video online. Here there are the same stats that I've just said. Nothing different. Monthly view, as you can see, is full of color, and there have been a few days in which I was reading 2 books, but it's not because I was reading them at the same time, simply because I was finishing one and starting the other one. Since I haven't read any non-fiction, I don't have books that have been read for several days together, but this is how my February was. Reading tracker, I'm happy because there have been several days in which I've read more than 100 pages, and I'm really happy about it. At the same time, there were days in which I, let's say, probably had a little bit less of time or didn't feel like reading that much, and I've only read, for example, 18 pages, and it's perfectly fine. Now I'm gonna move to the different spreads that are created for the books. As always, I'm gonna try to talk about them without giving any spoilers. First book of the month was an Italian book, tutta sbagliata. I was gifted this one at Christmas, so I was like, I don't have an idea what I'm gonna get out of this book. Here's the thing, I loved the story, yes, it was really catchy, but at a certain point, according to me, there was way too much, like some stuff, there was no need to add anything more. I liked the fact that there were some important topics. It's a young adult, yet there were topics such as anxiety or also topic about getting bullied at school. They are important and I'm happy to find them in books as well. But sadly, I was a little bit disappointed because when there was the need to talk more about them, when there was something I was expecting to be seen, that part wasn't there. It was, let's say, cut out of the book. And at the point I was like, if you want to leave it in that way, then maybe you should have thought better and add less to the book, but give more space to what you already had in it. Another thing I wasn't a big fan of are the characters. Some of them are flat, they tell me nothing at all. I was like, why? The character that I couldn't stand at all was the mom of the main character, because I just hated her. I would have, I wanted to punch her multiple times, so I just couldn't stand her. It was a lovely book, but because of these few things that I just can't shake off my mind, I can't give more than 3 stars and half. Second book, The After of the Moon Goddess, I liked it, yes. But here's the thing, for both the first and second book, because straight after this one I read the second one, I don't know. I give to them about 4 stars, but if I'm gonna think about them now, probably I would lower it a little bit, maybe to 3 stars and half for both of them, because yes, I like the story, But some characters, according to me, needed more space and they aren't that deep, and I was a little bit disappointed about it. I don't know, there were parts that I was really like, I can't put down the book, and then there were parts in which I was like, this is a little bit boring, let's move on. I don't know. I think that when I started the second one, I wasn't expecting more than the first one because of how this one is ending, but for sure I can say that I didn't see the ending coming in that way. I can tell you whether that one thing that quite of give me some problems is the chemistry between the characters, because in both of the books I just can't really feel it. I don't know, I just can't see anybody being with anybody else because I don't see this chemistry, you know? I don't know. It was a lovely read, but at the same time there were these things that made me go like, you know, it could have been done better, it could have been done in a different way that would have given something more, but no. So I'm still here thinking 4 stars, but probably I would bring it down to 3 stars and half. I don't know. Then I moved straight to the second one, Heart of the Sun Warrior, and just like for the first one, I would probably downgrade it to 3 stars and half, yes. I liked the story, there was something more here compared to the first one according to me, and I definitely enjoyed that. But at the same time, again, I don't get why having characters if you're not gonna give space to them. Here's a spoiler, especially if you haven't read the first book. Her dad comes back, he's not dead, he's still alive, but this character is there but he's also not there. Like, I don't get why bring him in the story. Like, I don't know, I was left with so much of why have you done it? It wasn't adding anything more, it wasn't taking anything away. It's, I don't know. I love the way about the story, and what happens at the end, quite of like for the ending of the first one, I wasn't seeing that coming at all. Yes, I still have the same problem as I said before of chemistry. I don't see chemistry between characters at all, and this really disappointed me. Sometimes I was reading this book and I was like, I'm missing the feelings, the emotions, you know? And so this is why it was hard for both of these two books to actually give them a reading, because I was really fighting with myself trying to understand what was in my mind. I'm still questioning a lot. Then for a reading group, I've picked up Belladonna. Was the only book that I've actually bought in February, and I've already took it away from my TBR, which is lovely and amazing. I wasn't expecting to like this much. I think that the mystery really is what got me really attached to the book. Or better, I just had my theories. I was like, okay, this is really full of things that makes me feel like I have to keep on going, you know? Because this is how I actually felt throughout the books. The more I was reading, the more I wanted to know. At the same time, I think that Signa is not the smartest lady alive at all, no. Because as a reader, you see things that the writer decided to put in front of your eyes, but what we as readers can see is the same thing that the main character can see. It's not like she's not seeing these things, yet she's not, let's say she's not only coming to understanding everything on her own, like for example for some stuff I've done, but she's not even asking herself questions. So I'm not saying I didn't like her, yes I liked her, but at the same time I was like, you should wake up a little bit more, honey. There are characters that surprised me, like I wasn't, let's say that with all the things that I was thinking, I couldn't see who actually was behind everything, and I was surprised by the end. And then there's another character that is like hiding something, and I can't wait to read the second one to know more. But since I've decided to buy the first one in Italian. I have to wait for the second one to come out, so it's not gonna happen anytime soon because it's gonna come out at the end of April and I don't know how it's gonna go. Anyway, I loved it, 4 stars, and this was my favorite book of the month. Last book of the month, The Stolen Heir. I wasn't prepared for this book to be like this. I'll try to explain it. I loved the Folk of the Year series. I really loved it. It was the first book that I've read that were actually fantasy, basically. And I fell in love with the characters, with that world. I really loved it. So when this came out, I was like, I have to read it. And then I finally managed to. And I was a little bit disappointed. And here's why. For a big part of this book, it's like nothing is happening. If the whole book would have been made just like the ending, I would have loved it. The ending is where everything happens. So much is happening there, while the first part is a little bit, it's not giving me that much. While I love Surin, I can't stand Oak, I'm sorry. He is like that character that's not making me getting any good vibes from him, I'm sorry. So by the end, I understand why she did what she did. She had all the rights to turn into the villain. I'm sorry, you might like her or not, but there are these villains that you're like, why you became like this? What happened to you? And when you find it out, you could be like, really? That's all? So just because of that, you are this bad? Instead, here, it's crystal clear why she's turning and who she's turning. And I absolutely love that. So while I love her, the problem for me was that the other characters were, well, I'm not a big fan of them, that's it. Part of me, I don't know, was also maybe a little bit disappointed because I was hoping to maybe see some already well-known faces. Instead, they're just mentioned here and there. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna read the second one when it's gonna come out in Italy because, again, I bought it in Italian, so I want the second one to be in the same way as the first one. I will read it because the ending, that's what I was looking for. So I'm pretty sure the second one is gonna be better than this. The problem for me with this book was especially the first part. But at the end of the day, 3 stars and half is not that bad, but for sure it's not at the same level as the Folk of the Year series. I'm sorry. That was completely different. It wasn't an higher level according to me. So these are the books that I've read in February. Have you read them? Yes? No? Do you plan on reading them? Let me know it with a comment. As always, thank you so much for your support. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you did, remember to give it a thumb up and to subscribe for more videos like this one. Thank you so much. See you next time. Bye!